back again. So in this piece, I'm going to work through the national income identity and link it to what we just talked about, which was net capital outflow, which from my personal point of view is the real kind of useful side of net capital outflow, is seeing what that means for the economy as a whole. And this little equation, what we're going to do, helps get us there. So the national income identity, I mentioned that in the last piece. I've said it at the terms, I think, twice so far in this little 34 seconds that I've been talking. Do you remember what that is? And if you don't, you better check yourself, because this is the thing, one of the things that I have said in all my videos and for the past 15 or 20 years of my life. Burn it into your memory. Put it on little note cards. Tape it on your steering wheel. Tape it up beside your toilet. Put it on a little folded in half note card where you're eating dinner. Just set it on the table so you're just looking at it all the time so you don't forget it, because I told you a long time ago it's going to keep coming back all semester. So if you didn't bother to do it then, you've just been missing points and having a harder time than you needed to this whole time. So stop wasting time and commit it to memory. The national income identity is this thing that's Y equals C plus I plus G plus NX. Now, I think by now you can guess our focus is over here lately, isn't it? We started off more focused over here. That's where we're going with this. So what we're going to do is, as we've done a couple times, we're going to rearrange these terms to kind of tease out the interaction with these relationships. We're just going to rearrange some things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract C from both sides. Because, well, I don't want to reveal why. But I'm going to just go ahead and do that, okay? Just humor me. Follow along. So I subtract C from both sides. That takes it away. It's not over here anymore. But I can't just take it away from Y, right? So I'm left over here with Y minus C is equal to, everything else is still there, so I plus G plus NX. Okay. Now, I'm going to subtract G from both sides. I'll get to Y, maybe it'll become clear in a second. So I take G away from both sides, that's gone. Take it over here, and, well, I can't just take it from that because it's what's called not like terms. So I have to just rewrite it with it over here. So I will have Y, I'm going to put it in this order, minus G minus C is equal to what's left over there, I plus NX. Now this might look familiar. It hopefully looks familiar at least. This side over here has its own meaning. This is the output of the income of the economy, less government expenditure, less consumption. That might sound familiar. Personal disposable income was income minus taxes. Well, this is income minus government expenditure. Well, the government may or may not have a government budget or surplus. If the government has a surplus, that means it's saving. And then if you think back to what our personal saving was, that Y minus taxes, income minus taxes being our personal saving, or I'm sorry, our disposable income, what we don't consume of that was our saving. So what's left over of what the government collects of income and what's left over after our consumption, that is the sum of all saving, which we call national saving. It's the sum of the public saving and the private saving. The public saving and the private saving is national saving. And that probably seems pretty familiar because if you remember when we did this, what we were showing was that S equals I, savings equals investment. In a closed economy where we just were ignoring exports basically, what a country has to invest with is what it doesn't consume. That's what we've shown since the beginning of the semester, starting with one application of our production possibilities curve. And we're still showing it. We're just now going to include an open economy. So what we're talking about over here on the left-hand side is national saving. We've really derived this already. So since that's what it is, I can just substitute in an S because it's the same thing. So saving, or national saving, is equal to investment plus net exports. Okay, one more step to go. We've already said, because of the identity and because of the fact that it's the way the money goes when we export or import, net, we've already said that NX is equal to NCO. So I could rewrite this again with my S over here. I'll keep the I, and I'll substitute in something that's the same for this. If NX and NCO are the same thing, I can use them interchangeably. So what we're saying then is that national saving, or saving, is equal to investment plus net capital outflow. And what that means is, for a country, all that is not consumed or used up by government, that's this, because it's the same as that. All that is not used by government or consumed, may be invested domestically or sent abroad. That's really all this boils down to. This is the net capital outflow. It's the net of, again, let me make sure I word it correctly, our purchases of foreign assets minus foreigners' purchases of U.S. assets. So if this were a positive number, we would be purchasing more foreign assets from our saving. We could be investing or purchasing foreign assets. So that's what we can do with the portions of our income that remain after we allocate resources to government and consumption. So that's how these things link together, and I think a little bit telling as to why they link together. So that's the manipulation of the national income identity. So that seems like a fairly good spot to stop again. And then I'm going to come back and get into exchange rates